Well, everyone, welcome back to the channel. Once again, another quick actually, this is going to be pretty comprehensive comparison in my opinion. We have the iPhone 11 on the right and the iPhone XS on the left. Now, you might be wondering, dude, why are you comparing, like the cheapest model of the iPhones right now compared to the flagship of last year? I mean, this was a $1,000 phone last year. And this is why this is even more apparent and even more relevant now than last year, because yes, this might have been the most expensive phone last year, at least in the Apple Store underneath the XS Max. However, that was a year ago. The XS is not $1,000 anymore. A XS right now, believe it or not, compared to the used prices that I've seen right now, costs just about as much as a brand new iPhone 11. So you cannot go to the Apple Store and pick up a brand new iPhone XS anymore. Apple stopped selling these. However, you can go and pick up a brand new one of these in the Apple Store for, $699. Let's call it as it is, $700, over $700 including tax. And that's for the base models of both of these. So let's go ahead and see which one is the better value per dollar. Because honestly, right now, as I see it, I still think the XS is a much better value per dollar than the iPhone 11, obviously. But I don't know, there's still some cool things with the iPhone 11 that you're getting that... I can't believe I did that again. And I just realized something. The iPhone 11 series, I feel like these phones are much more top heavy than they were last year. Maybe because of the camera sensor or whatever, but I feel like I'm dropping the iPhone 11, 11 Pro, and 11 Pro Max way more than I was dropping the XS and XS Max. So looking around the bodies, one thing to hit on immediately right off the bat is the premium feeling of the iPhone XS and the somewhat feeling of the iPhone 11. Now, I do have a skin on the back of my XS because it is a cracked back, but it's no big deal. The chassis of the phone definitely feels much more premium on the XS. And if you look at the thickness, it's interesting because the 11 is much thicker, I will give it that. But when you're feeling it in the hand, one doesn't necessarily stick out to me as being way thicker than the other one. The screens, however, I don't know how people find this out, but apparently I was on Reddit and the 11 screen is actually the 11, 11 Pro, and 11 Pro Max. They all have thicker bezels around the screen, but it's much, you can't even tell. But the 11 is going to have thicker bezels than the XS. But in terms of the way the screens feel and everything, I mean, you have a 5.8-inch Super OLED display on the iPhone XS, and it's a very, very good display. It's not bad at all. I've had nothing but great experience with it. This has the same display pretty much as the iPhone 10. The iPhone 11 has a 6.1-inch 828p resolution display. It's kind of hard to describe it, but I don't think this display is bad at all. Like, I definitely don't think it's as good as a XS, but it's good enough in my opinion. For a lot of people, you probably won't even care, so there's not even that point of talking about it that much. They both have the same amount of nits in the screen, so practically the same amount of brightness as well. So really the main difference is the similarity between them because they both have dual cameras on the back, but that is an upgrade for the iPhone 11. And in terms of everything else on the outside, they're practically the same thing. I mean, they both have notches, both have Face ID, just the display is much better on the XS, and the build quality is much better on the XS as well. Now, talking about software updates for a second, I was in the camp that I think the iPhone XR will pretty much last as long as the iPhone 11, which could technically mean that the iPhone XS could last as long as the iPhone 11, but to play it safe right now, I will probably tell you that they both will probably end up lasting as long as they usually will last, so this typical 4 or 5 years of software support. So with that being said, I think the iPhone 11 will technically outlast the iPhone XS in software support, but that isn't verified yet. Like, that's just what it is. But the iPhone XS will still get so many more years of software support, so there's it's not even any point of worrying about it right now. So that being said, the iPhone 11 will probably win in terms of the software support. So now I'm going to run a little bit of a speed comparison. We got all the preliminary stuff out of the way. I'll go ahead and tell you the specs of both the phones, starting with the iPhone XS. So the XS actually had the Apple A12 Bionic chip, a hexa-core CPU, and 4 gigabytes of RAM on all the models. The iPhone 11 is kind of, the same thing, except we have the A13 Bionic chip, the same hexa-core CPU, but those cores are clocked higher. All 3 models of the iPhone 11 have 4 gigabytes of RAM, pretty much the same thing as the iPhone XS. So I have almost the same exact apps. Actually, I do have same exact apps on both models. So I'm going to go ahead and run a little bit of a speed comparison, see which apps open up faster on which device. And if I had to tell you right now, I would probably assume the iPhone 11 is the faster device at opening the apps, but I think it's going to be a close comparison. So let's go ahead and see which one is faster. Okay, I have all the apps pretty much cleared out in the background. No, I don't, I'm just kidding. Okay, all the apps are officially cleared out in the background. So let's go ahead and start loading up some of these apps. Let's do Facebook, 3, 2, 1. And you guys can see right off the bat, the iPhone 11 did open that app faster. SoundCloud, 3, 2, 1. And that was almost a tie, I would say, but I do think the iPhone 11 actually got into that one faster. Twitter, 3, 2, 1. And actually the iPhone XS got into that one faster. Kind of surprising, I wasn't expecting that. Snapchat, 3, 2, 1. And again, the iPhone XS got into that one faster. It looked like in the beginning with that the iPhone 11 was going to be winning these every single time, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Instagram, 3, 2, 1. And I don't know which one was there faster. I mean, they look kind of the same to me. I'm not really too sure. Netflix, 3, 2, 1. And I do think the iPhone 11 got into that one faster. It was very, very close though. Bofa, 3, 2, 1. And you can see the iPhone 11 got into that one faster. The iPhone XS eventually got into it, but kind of a noticeable difference right there. Temple Run, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully I'm not in a game in any of these because I'm going to have to restart these. And as you can see, the iPhone XS, of course I'm in a game, so I have to restart this one. Temple Run again, 3, 2, 1. And that was very, very close, but I think the iPhone XS got into that one faster. That was an extremely close one. In terms of gameplay, they're going to be almost identical. Again, I say this every single time. They're almost exactly the same. It's a very basic game. Quizlet, 3, 2, 1. And the XS got into that one faster. Dropbox, 3, 2, 1. And I think the 11 got into that one faster, but I wasn't able to tell. I wasn't really looking at them all the time. Thank you, 3, 2, 1. And I think the 11 is going to get into this one faster. And yes, it did. So as you guys saw, the 11 got into that one faster. But this is a pretty basic game. Nothing too crazy. But I don't think everyone's going to be using like super intensive apps like every single day. I'm sure they use some minor ones. So Paper Out 2, 3, 2, 1. And this game is super glitchy. I hope the developers of this game watch my video so then you guys can go ahead and like fix it. 11 got into that one a little bit faster, but this game used to never be this glitchy. Like you guys can tell, I mean, the 11 is an extremely fast device, but so is the XS. And actually, it looks better over the camera, I think, than it does in real life. So Snake versus Blocks, 3, 2, 1. And as you can see, the 11 got into that one way faster. If we get into some gameplay, you guys will be able to tell, like, they're almost identically the same. Sometimes there are some glitched frames, but Fruit Ninja, 3, 2, 1. And that was extremely close. Maybe the iPhone 11 got into that one faster, but that was an extremely close one. Let's go ahead and end it off with the Real Racing 3, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully I don't have to download anything on these apps. After this one, I'll go ahead and show you guys the benchmark score as well. And automatically, it already looks like the iPhone 11 is going to be winning this one. And again, the iPhone 11 actually won this, which is surprising because usually the older iPhones win this app faster, this game faster. So you guys can tell the 11 is quite a bit ahead of the iPhone XS. And this might be the best apparent, obvious comparison thing that I've done so far. And apparently I didn't even do one on the iPhone XS, but the last time I did it, I had about a score of like 250,000. So ultimately my opinions on this are, I think the iPhone 11 is the faster device, but again, it's not like as crazy of a difference as you might expect. Like to go and just pick a phone based off its performance between these two, I don't think it's worth the difference because sometimes the iPhone XS was faster. Most of the time I would say the iPhone 11 was faster, but again, it's not like one phone blows the other one out of the water. Like the iPhone 11, even though it's a newer, it doesn't like showcase its huge, increase in performance compared to an iPhone XS. So that pretty much covers that. Let's go ahead and talk about the camera super quickly. But what I will say is I'm going to be making a whole separate video talking about the cameras, comparing these two. So keep it, subscribe to the channel so you guys, don't miss that video. But I'll talk about them briefly. The iPhone XS, they both actually have dual camera setups, both two 12 megapixel sensors on both cameras. But it's interesting because they both have something that the other camera does not have. And when you combine both these cameras, you pretty much get like an iPhone 11 Pro camera. So on the XS, you have the regular camera as well as a telephoto lens. On the iPhone 11, you have the regular camera as well as an ultra wide sensor. So this one does not have a telephoto lens, but this one does not have an ultra wide sensor. So looking at the iPhone XS camera, I found this to be a very, very good sensor, as you can even tell. I found it, it's probably is better than the iPhone 10, which is my main phone, but ultimately, whatever you're going to do with the camera, this one is very, very good. As you can see, you have that telephoto lens, which you can zoom in twice as much, and the settings are pretty much the same as even the 11 Pro, but Apple did state that they have better settings or whatever. But looking at the 11, actually, you can see that the camera looks kind of the same. Honestly, they all look the same to me, honestly. Taking a photo, all the settings are all exactly the same. However, you do not have that 2x optical zoom. You have regular the zoom in and everything, but you don't have that telephoto lens. However, you do have that ultra wide sensor, which allows you to zoom out. As you can see my pants and my legs, but you can zoom out that you can't really do on the iPhone XS or really any other iPhone besides the newest one. So That's a pretty big deal if you're into that, but my opinion, I don't think I'm ever really going to use it. So ultimately what I'll tell you is, yes, that's a really cool feature, but I don't really see myself using that often. But I will have a full review, like I said, coming between the camera comparison between these two. Now, hitting on the battery life, this is the last thing I'm going to hit on. I will tell you the iPhone 11 will have the better battery life between these two. First of all, the iPhone XS never really had the best battery life in my opinion. Apple actually decreased the battery size from the iPhone 10 to the XS, which I never really understood why they did that. You have a 2,658 mAh battery on the iPhone XS and a 3,046 mAh battery on the iPhone 11. What I can tell you is, without a doubt, the iPhone 11 does have the better battery life. You have a lower resolution screen. You have almost the same chipset. I mean, of course, it's better on the iPhone 11, which could mean it's more optimized for batteries and everything. But the biggest thing is a lower resolution display. So ultimately, what I'll tell you is, if you have an iPhone XS, obviously going to an iPhone 11 is a degrade. It's a downgrade in every way. Did I say degrade? I meant downgrade. You're losing that OLED display, the Force Touch, the higher build quality, the higher resolution display, but you're gaining software support and speed increase and an ultra-wide sensor, but you have that telephoto lens here. So it's such like a, not even an upgrade. It's like an upgrade and a downgrade in so many ways. It's such an average thing. So if you have a XS, keep it. Don't upgrade to an 11 because it's not even an upgrade. But what I will say is that if you don't have either of these phones, if you're going the brand new route, obviously the iPhone 11 is the only phone you can buy right now. But if you're looking at any iPhone, I would recommend going into the used market, picking up a used iPhone XS. You can probably find one cheaper than a brand new one of these, including taxes. So this is probably like $750, closer to $800 on tax. This one you can probably find for like $700, probably a little bit less. But I would really, really recommend you guys pick up a used iPhone XS than a brand new iPhone 11. I feel like this one is a better value per dollar than this one is. Both very, very good phones. You can't really go wrong in either one. But I feel like if I had to choose, I would probably pick up a XS than an iPhone 11. So that pretty much covers that, guys. If you have any questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. I'll go ahead and find the cheapest iPhone XS that I can find on Amazon, and I'll leave a link down in the description below so you guys can pick it up from there if you want to. And you guys can help support the channel at the same time. But that is pretty much it. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed the video, but definitely hit that subscribe button. I think I already said that. Leave some comments too. Let me know what you guys think about this comparison. Let me know which one you would rather choose. Check out the links in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.